The Lord in the Holy Bible is Yahweh, the alien annunkie. Salton Pictures Movie Studios introduce
Bahamas Sunland Apple IPTV. The best makeup artist and prayer warrior perfected faces, done by Candy, the best prayer warrior and makeup artist called Candy 2423950-125.
In the Garden of Eden, it's actually E-D-I-N, all right? And Enlil, he was known as Yahweh. He was known as Satan, the Lord of Eden. Satan, the Lord of Eden. And Eden was an outside laboratory. And in this laboratory, when you read these texts, even some of the apocryphal texts, like the book of Adam, which was left out of the Bible, you discover that this was a mating ground. So they would start. So what happened first was they began with genetically modified people that were almost like clones. And the information on the cloning technique is at the Temple of Karnak in Africa, in Egypt, where I take people. And so they were making these people, but they couldn't make them fast enough, and these people couldn't have and reproduce on their own. So then they got very frustrated. So ISIS says, okay, I have an idea. I'm going to take the egg out of one of the beings and put it in my womb and take it to term. So it says in the text that they literally mixed their genetics with this egg, put it in her womb. So that's now making what we call a zygote in modern technology terms, right? In vitro fertilization, puts it in her womb, takes it to term for 10 months, and then gives birth to the Adamu, which means first man. And there's a cylinder scroll in the British Museum where she's holding up the baby, says, my hands have made it, the first man, Adamu. So that's where we get the first genetically perfected Homo sapien. The point I'm trying to make is, so we have the cloning center. The clones couldn't reproduce enough. And a lot of work was going into making these people. So they came up with Adam. This starts the generations of ISIS, the generations of ISIS, the Genesis.
Ooh, and Genesis is obviously the first book of the Old Testament.
Yes.
I'm doing the math right now.
When Enlil, who's known as Yahweh, comes back and sees humans building a tower into the heavens in one of these cities, duplicating what the Anunnaki had built, he gets pissed off because he realizes, oh man, Enki got me. These people are too smart. So he destroys the tower. And he says, my seed shall not abide in man forever. His years shall be 120. And what's the maximum lifespan of a human being in the most pristine condition, according to Harvard? 120 years. Then the next thing he did was he separated humans and put them in different places around the planet, just like the tablets say. And then he confused the languages so that we couldn't communicate and collaborate anymore, which is why there's all these different crazy languages. And then on top of that, he put a brand. Whoever ruled over an area, brand your people. We know that those are your people. Brand your people. We know those are your people. And look how it's worked. Look how these invisible lines we have on this planet till this very day are still here. If I go to Mexico, I'm an alien. If they come to America, they're an alien.
Yeah, we're still blowing each other up because of fucking religious ideologies.
It's crazy.
Yahweh was never the only God. He was just the one who won. In the ancient world, gods walked among men, or so the records say. They fought wars, demanded loyalty, and shaped civilizations. Among them, one name rose above the rest, Yahweh. But behind this name lies a forgotten truth, one that challenges everything written in the sacred texts. Because long before Yahweh became the one and only, he was just one among many. What if the God worshipped today as the supreme creator was once just a storm deity in a crowded pantheon? What if the journey of Yahweh was not divine revelation, but political evolution? To uncover the true identity of this God, it is necessary to return to the very first time his name appears in history. Not in religious doctrine, but inscribed into the physical world by ancient hands. That first trace may lie on a small, weathered lead tablet unearthed on Mount Ebal, long before any kingdom of Israel had been firmly established. Discovered in 2019 and dating to the late Bronze Age, this so-called curse tablet bears a proto-alphabetic inscription that includes the divine name YHW, an early form of Yahweh. The inscription is a legal curse, invoking Yahweh to bring ruin upon those who break a sacred covenant. Hidden within the stones of Mount Ebal, where the Bible itself describes a ceremonial altar erected by Joshua, this tablet may preserve the oldest written reference to the God who would later dominate Scripture. But it would not be the last. Centuries later, Yahweh's name would re-emerge in the form of a royal boast carved in basalt. The Moabite stone, or Mesha Stele, erected by King Mesha of Moab nearly 3,000 years ago, describes a conquest over Israel. In it, Yahweh is not described as the creator of the universe, but simply as the God of a small and defeated people. His temple is plundered. His sacred objects are seized and offered to another god, Chemosh, the chief deity of Moab. This is not the image of an all-powerful, universal God. It is the image of a regional deity, vulnerable, conquerable, and part of a world filled with competing divine powers. But this is only the beginning. Because as we dig deeper into the deserts of the ancient Near East, Yahweh's name begins to appear in even more surprising places. On the columns of Egyptian temples, among the records of pharaohs, and in the territories of wandering tribes described as outlaws. These were the Shasu, nomadic, elusive, feared, and among them, the Shasu of Yahweh. Inscribed beneath the temple of Soleb, built by Amenhotep III more than 300 years before the Moabite stone, the name Yahweh is etched into the stone legacy of Egypt, not as the God of Israel, but as the God of a desert people, strangers, wanderers, rebels. So who was Yahweh before the Bible? Not Yahweh the Almighty yet, but a local deity known to warlords and nomads. His name didn't echo across the heavens. It traveled on the lips of wanderers, in the chants of desert tribes, and in the whispered fears of their enemies. Yahweh was not yet the all-encompassing God of creation, but a presence tied to the wilderness, to storms, to fire, a God of survival, a God of war. In the earliest inscriptions, the name Yahweh appears without explanation, as if those who wrote it assumed their audience already knew who he was. No titles, no theology, just the name. This tells us something profound, that Yahweh was already known by reputation. But known to whom? The nomadic Shasu invoked his name, and so did their adversaries. Egyptian scribes recorded Yahweh not as an abstract being, but as a tribal god bound to a specific people. His domain was the desert, remote, harsh, unyielding, and perhaps that is where his worship began. Not in temples of gold, but in tents of goatskin, under the stars, surrounded by dust and danger. Over time, those who followed Yahweh left their mark across the Levant. They were not yet Israelites, as the Bible would later describe them. They were fragmented clans, wandering kin groups, each carrying fragments of older beliefs, mixing traditions, adapting.
I will always choose you.
Lately, wish you could trade eyes with me, 'cause there's complexities in complexion, but your skin is glow like diamonds. Dig me like the earth, you be giving back to everything alive, baby, know your worth. I love everything about you, from your nappy curls to every single curve, your body natural. Same skin that was broken, be the same skin taking over. Most things out of focus view, but when you're in the room, they notice you. 'Cause you're beautiful. Yeah, you're beautiful. Them and them gon' fall in love with you in all of your glory. Your skin is not only dark, it shines and it tells your story. You dancing, they can't control you. They watching, they all adore you. Lately, wish you could trade eyes with me, 'cause there's complexities in complexion, but your skin is glow like diamonds. Dig me like the earth, you be giving back to everything alive, baby, know your worth. I love everything about you, from your nappy curls to every single curve, your body natural. Same skin that was broken, be the same skin taking over. Most things out of focus view, but when you're